everybody, this is Charlie Dobbins, and I want to welcome you to the Masterclass Lesson 1, where we talk about how to find product, or more specifically, how to find deals on the internet. Now, what you need to understand is that this business is essentially not the real estate business. You may think that, multifamily real estate, multifamily investing is all about real estate. I'm telling you right now, it isn't. 90% of this business is all about marketing. And that's what you need to understand. The best people who got up and running quickly and fastest in this business are those people that came from a marketing background. Now, let me explain what I mean by marketing. What I don't mean by marketing is having your business cards ready or your website ready to go. Those are the last things you should be worried about. It really drives me crazy when I hear new investors say, well, I can't make offers because my website isn't up and running. Nobody comes to your website to give you a deal. You've got to go out there and get it yourself. That's what I mean by marketing. I mean, don't think I can't do this because my business cards aren't right. I don't have a logo. Listen, 20 years ago, commercial real estate, multifamily deals were getting done every day, and nobody had a website. It doesn't matter what your business card, your logo, your company name, any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's all about relationships, and it's all about getting out there and marketing yourself. All right, so just think about it. If you were a new insurance agent and you sat down with your new sales manager, the first thing he's going to say is, "Oh, tell me all the people that you know that you can sell insurance to." I mean, you're not going to sit there and say, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't have my website ready." He's going to look at you and think, the insurance that we sell is not sold through websites. The same is true with multifamily deals. And so I'm going to spend the next probably about an hour and a half going through a whole bunch of different places on the internet where you can find multifamily deals that nobody else is looking at, all right? And I'm going to teach you how to do it step by step. This particular video comes with a handout. It's a PDF document. I highly recommend you keep it on your computer as you're watching this video. That way you can click on the hyperlinks that are built into that PDF document, and you can go directly to those websites that I'm going to be focusing on. And remember, as I mentioned, there'll be 15 different steps that I'm going to take you through. Now, the thing that you also need to understand, as with any business, and that's what we're doing here, we're starting you off on your business, you're going to need to know how to do these things, but ultimately, you should not be doing them. You need to be outsourcing everything that I talk about in today's video to someone else. And I can tell you, folks, I use a VA in the Philippines. Costs me $3 an hour. The stuff that VA does for me, I give the person step-by-step instructions, and they take care of everything. It's fantastic. Because if you're coming into this as a novice, if you've never done this before, if you're you've got a current job and you're looking to build up your business, your multifamily business, so that you can get rid of your current job and move into this, that takes a little bit of time, and you're going to need to focus on that somehow. It's a lot easier if you have somebody else that you can pass it off to. So let's get started. This is going to be a long video. You're going to stop and start it many times. Over the next 30 days, I want you to implement all of the things that I teach you in this video so that by day 31, you can have some product coming into your business, and that'll get you up and running quickly. All right? So let's get started. The first segment we're going to focus on is Loopnet, my favorite. All right, everyone, this is the Loopnet screen that pops up once you log in. Now, for those of you that have never seen me speak before, been in one of my seminars, I speak quite a bit on Loopnet and my feelings on Loopnet. My motto is that Loopnet is where deals go to die. Typically, you will never be able to find a good deal on Loopnet. If you just think about the numbers, and remember, this is a marketing game. This is all about numbers. Loopnet is great for Loopnet, but the fact is that people are, you get about 5 million eyeballs looking at a particular property, and you probably will not be the one that finds that one diamond in the rough. All the best deals are being done word of mouth, behind closed doors, or as you've heard the expression, pocket listings. So what we're going to try to do is use Loopnet for the right reasons to help build your business. and not for the wrong reasons. So when I use Loopnet, I use it to find brokers who are doing deals that I'm interested in. I'm not using it to find the deals. This, as I mentioned before, is a relationship business, and it's going to take up a little bit of time for you to build up those relationships to get the right deal. So what I'm going to show you right now are a couple of ways that I use Loopnet in order to find the right deals. All right, so follow my keystrokes here and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. As you can see, I am logged in as myself, Charles Dobbins. You come up here to the for sale button, you click on the for sale button. Click on the for sale button. Now I click on the multifamily. I choose a state that I'm interested in. And in this particular example, all the way through this video, I'm going to use the state of Tennessee. And then I am going, oh, actually what I'm doing is I'm going to go click over here from the for sale, go over here to find a broker. And from here I'm going to use the Tennessee. And let's see what pops up. All right, right now we've got 20 pages, and as I scroll down here, you can see that you've got about 20 pages of brokers. So you've 20 pages, about 25 brokers per page. I mean, you got almost 500 brokers sitting right here that you can contact that are listed on Loopnet in the state of Tennessee. Now, obviously, you want to specialize in a particular location. You want to try to hone it down. But let me just show you exactly what I want you to do to start getting brokers to start working with you. All right. First thing you're going to do is you look at these. Like let's take Barbara Hawkins. You click right here on our email button, and on Barbara Hawkins, I'm going to type Barbara a little message right now, and then I'm going to show you what I do afterwards. All right. Now, the first thing you want to do is come up with your own elevator speech. Here's one that I use. Please do not use the exact same one. Make it your own. If everybody listened to this video that was out there marketing for deals, use the exact same elevator speech, I think these brokers would sooner or later get suspicious and think that this is all one grand conspiracy. So you don't want to do that. Let me go through this and put on a message here to Ms. Hawkins. Okay, so here's an example of an elevator speech that I typically go out with. As you can see here, let me just read it for you. I'm not going to go into why I choose these particular criteria. Subsequent lessons are going to go deeper into exactly what this is all about. But I'm just going to read it to you now. It says, I'm a real estate investor interested in multifamily properties in your area. My investment criteria tend to be B-class properties built in 1985 or newer, pitched roofs, separate entrances, individually metered, and some type of management issue that I can get in there and fix. If you have any opportunities that meet these criteria, please contact me by replying to this message. Thanks. All right, now all of your information is right here, your contact number. And she has my email address right up here. And so what I do here is I just left mouse click button, click and drag, highlight everything, right mouse, copy, and then I hit send. All right, in this particular case, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spam Barbara. And then what I do is I jump down to Stuart, and I hit email, and I do right mouse click, paste, send. And I can do that about 20 to 25 times in a day for Loopnet. And then you maxed out. They think you're spamming people, which, to a certain degree, it might be considered that you are. But all these guys want to know who you are. They want to do business with you. They want to build a relationship with you as well. So that's how I start to look for brokers that are working in the marketplace that I'm interested in. All right. So that's a very easy thing for you to get started doing right away. Now, let me tell you the drawback to doing this. All right. When I did this, first off, this is something that you can easily have a virtual assistant do for you. As you see all the steps I just took, it's so simple. Have somebody else do this for you on a regular basis. What you're going to do, and as a matter of fact, in the handout that I gave you, everything is laid out step by step. So you can just hand this off to a VA and have them do it for you. Just put it in your own words and make sure that that it's all done correctly. Now, the thing that you want to be aware of is that in this particular case, when I use this technique, I don't get a great response from these brokers. And here is the reason why I think that's the case. And it's because I've got about 500 brokers on here all listed on Loopnet as doing commercial deals. Well, the fact is that many of these people may not be real commercial brokers. Many of them may just be listed here because they're doing, residential property, and their names pop up here as well. They're just trying to flood the market and, trying to catch lightning in a bottle for some of them. So you're not always going to have great opportunities that come back to you. And the thing that you want to really be aware of is when these people contact you and they start sending you leads, and they start sending you leads that are on MLS or leads that are not their leads, you don't want to work with those people. Multifamily commercial real estate brokers is a different world than the residential. In the multifamily world, you pretty much eat your own. So you've got to go out there and find those brokers that are actually getting their own listings, and that's what you're looking for. It causes too much of a problem when you're dealing with so many brokers, a buyer's broker, a seller's brokers, all of that stuff. Just find the guys who are doing the listings themselves and go after them. So I'm going to show you how to do that next, but that's a first part of the Loopnet, how I use Loopnet. All right, so let's go back here and let me show you a different way that you can use Loopnet to find brokers that you want to work with. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to jump back down to Tennessee, and all I'm going to say is Tennessee, multifamily, Tennessee. That's it for the search criteria. I hit search, and let's see how we do. X out of that. That's the sales pitch from Loopnet. Whether they, to get up into the premium section. I never purchase a premium. I can get everything I need from Loopnet without spending a dime for it. Whether you have or not, that's entirely up to you. I'm just telling you that's how I do it. All right, so here we are. We've got 231 listings in Tennessee, active listings right now. So how do we start to find brokers to do business with? What you come down here is you click on every one of these properties. Jonesboro Apartments. This happens to be 4 units. Click on Jonesboro Apartments, 160,000. Shannon Castillo and John Spiropoulos are the brokers of people providing additional information. All you do is come over here and click the Contact Listing Broker. And as you can see, I just did. And what happens is now they have been sent, your message has been sent to the listing broker, but you may need to send another message. And that way you get to personalize a second message. But what you can do is just sit there or have your VA do this for you and go through every single listing in Tennessee for a multifamily listing. Now, why is this good? What does this do for you? Well, what it does for you is it takes the Tennessee properties. I'm going to jump back here in a moment. It takes the Tennessee properties, and you are now contacting all the brokers that are active, that are actively doing multifamily deals in Tennessee. That first list of brokers, they might not be active, but this list, these are people who actually have listings on the internet. So that's why you want to speak to Shannon or John Spiropoulos, and that's what's going to get you through there. Now, let me jump back here to Loopnet. It's giving me a little hard time here. So that's another way that I use Loopnet in order to find deals. Now, and as you can see, right now hasn't even been property specific up to this point. So let's go now. I'm going to show you another way, another neat way to find deals on Loopnet or find specific opportunities. Okay. What I'm going to have you do is come over here to the for sale, click for sale, and we're going to scroll on down to the, we're going to keep it at multifamily. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the geographical listing, and I'm going to say all states. In other words, I don't care where these properties are located. I'm looking for a particular type of property, and the type of property is going to be distinguished down here under the keywords. So here's what I'm looking for on LoopNet using these keywords. We use seller financing. I want to see every property listed in LoopNet that uses the words seller financing in their description. So let's see how we do. Click search. And we X out of their sales pitch. I've got 251 listings in all over the country where the broker is using the terminology seller financing. All right, so that, you think about that for a second. Well, I thought you wanted to be in a particular market. Yeah, you do. But if you're a wholesaler, if you're a bird dogger, if you're looking for deals for somebody else and one that has seller financing involved, that's something. This is the way to find it, and this is the way to get deals in front of the people who are looking for these types of transactions. What other types of words can you use in that? In that little keyword search? Well, you can do, I did seller financing, you can do owner financing, you can do rehab, you can do short sale, you can do value add, reduction. Let's try this one. Let's see how we do with this one. Motivated. How many deals can we find, or how many properties can we find up here? 297 properties listed on Loopnet that use the word motivated. Look at this one, the Spanish charm, motivated seller. Great, good, I'm a motivated buyer. Let's see if we can get together. So that's kind of how you want to look at these things. That's another way that I use Loopnet, just to get the properties and the activity going as quickly as possible. And everything that I've just shown you, folks, is something that you can do on a regular basis, or have a VA do it. Now, let me show you one thing that I mentioned to you is you want to try to set this up on autopilot so that you can either do it yourself once a week, or you can have your VA do it. And here's what you do. Now, remember, I just created this search using the word motivated. Well, I like this search. This is a good search. I want to make sure that anytime a listing pops up using the word motivated, I get to see it. So what you do is you come up here to your name, scroll down to saved searches and alerts, and here you're going to set up the search, the saved search for for the word motivated. And as you can see, here are some of the searches that I've already saved. Some of them are geographical savings searches, and other ones are by keyword. Owner financing, distressed property, owner financing. Let me run through some of them that I have. Short sale, bank. Bank was too generic. I was getting too many weird properties. Value add, there it is. Second, like I said, seller second or second mortgage. That one did not work out all that well either, because I was getting all the properties on Second Avenue all around the country. So here's one, reduction, like as in price reduction. Get very rehab. Here's rehab, motivated, and then of course all the other types of searches. But you definitely want to set up your searches. If you are a premium member with Loopnet, you can get daily search results. If you're a free member, you can get weekly search results through Loopnet. And as you can see, they expire. There are certain amount of time that they give you for these searches, and then they expire. All you have to do is just come online and click on the renew button. I just haven't done it here, but that's all you got to do just to keep the system going and keep the business generating. So that is, in a nutshell, your first step. All of the things I just gave you, you can get started on today towards generating activity for your business. Okay, now we're going to move over to step 2, which is a very similar search to Loopnet, but might take you in a different direction. See you in the next step. All right, everybody, we're back, and this time we're looking at the Commercial Investment Multiple Listing Service. If you're into the residential world, you're very familiar with MLS. Well, the commercial world has one as well, and it's called CIMLS.com. All right, now it's it's similar to Loopnet. It's different than Loopnet. Different markets around the country favor Loopnet. Other markets favor CIMLS. Get to know what your market uses. I know that and the other thing too about Loopnet versus CIMLS. The times that I've seen it used, it seems as though different brokers use the different search engines. And so, some brokers will be on Loopnet, and a whole host of other brokers, different from the first, will be on CIMLS. So you want to make sure that you're checking out them all. All right. So here's what you're going to do is you're going to come up here to the for sale button, click on for sale, and you're going to do pretty much the exact same thing you did with the Loopnet search. All right, let's do the same thing and see if we come up with, what type of results we come up with. Remember when we just did a search in multifamily in Tennessee, I think we had like 200 and some odd listings. Let's see how we do, and just so that I don't have to come back to the screen, here's the keyword feature of CIMLS, and you can just use that the same way you did with Loopnet, and you can also set up saved searches as well. You have to log in. I'm not going to log in right now, so make sure you get a membership site. Remember, membership in Loopnet is free. Membership in CIMLS is free. They have higher premium grade searches, but you can just get in there and get an account for free. Same thing with CIMLS as with Loopnet. You can only get weekly searches if you're not paying for it. And I'm telling you folks, if you're just getting started in this business, and you're not able to give it your full time, and you're working another job, weekly searches are fine. Have all of these searches get dumped down into one folder for you on your Outlook, whatever other email service you use, and then on Saturday mornings you just sit there and scroll through all the potential opportunities that exist. And that's a great way to remain entirely focused and organized in getting those deals in the door. All right, so let's see how we do. Just to give you a difference, you can do a compare and contrast between CIMLS and Loopnet. Now check this out, guys. 2 pages of Tennessee property for multifamily. 2. All right, so that should give you an idea as to, in the Tennessee marketplace, who's the big boy. And it seems as though that Loopnet works more in Tennessee than CIMLS. But as a result, remember, you might end up looking at properties that other people are not, because they're not checking out CIMLS. And that's why you want to set these searches up. You want to find as many deals as you possibly can while everybody else is doing the usual thing of jumping on the internet and looking at Loopnet. You want to set up searches so that you can take a look at all of these types of deals that nobody else has peeked at. All right. The other thing that you're going to use CIMLS for is find a professional. Just like what we did with Loopnet, we're going to do a search for real estate brokers in Tennessee. Hit the search button. See how we did. And well, they've got 3 on here. All right. But hey, what do you care? All it takes is 1. So we click to email Glenn. We right mouse click. We put our search criteria right in there, and we hit email, and we're done. So you can see we're using these search engines almost identically, but we're getting a different result. And you just want to get as many results as you possibly can. Remember, this is marketing. Marketing is a numbers game. You want to get your numbers up and see as many deals as possible. And that's why we use CIMLS. All right, step 3. Our next step is where we start talking about other types of retail brokers. All right, if you take a look at the handout where we start talking about retail brokers, I have several of them listed on there, and I'm not going to go through all of them on this particular video. You can click on the hyperlinks that's in the handout. There are a couple of them, though, that I'm going to talk about just to give you a particular perspective on the what you need to do with different brokers. All right, first off, Marcus and Millichap is the biggest. You might as well get to know them, find out if they're working in your area, and get to know some of the Marcus and Millichap brokers. All right, they're not going to be, they're kind of highbrow. I don't know why, but they think they are, and they're good guys. I like all the people I've worked with at Marcus and Millichap have been great. But there are a couple of things about their company that you really need to understand. First off, they are the biggest one out there. They deal predominantly in retail deals. So when you see something come across and it's a Marcus & Millichap deal, 9 times out of 100, nine times out of 10, it's going to be a retail deal. All right. Does that mean you shouldn't go after these guys? Absolutely not. What it is, it's a relationship business, and you're looking to build a relationship with the Marcus & Millichap brokers. They have a lot of deals that come down the pipeline that never see the light of day because they've got such a great buyers list of buyers that they can just take all their best deals and turn it over to those buyers. You want to become one of those buyers, so you get to see these things before they even hit the marketplace. That's how you want to operate this business. Now, so go ahead and register with Marcus & Millichap. Get online with them. Get updates, save updates. Make sure that you get updates, email updates from all of the retail brokerage houses. Remember, you don't care. You're in the business. You're just looking to create relationships. So make sure that that you're in constant contact with some of these guys. All right. All it takes is one deal, folks. All it takes is one deal, and you're in the game. But the really nice thing about Marcus & Millichap, and this is the other thing that I really want to stress, they are known in the industry for having the best research. It is fantastic, their research abilities, and they have an annual webinar that everybody listens to that tells you what's going on in the particular economic marketplace. They have breakdown reports of different locations telling you what's going on there. If you're looking in a particular marketplace, you've got to get the research reports for that marketplace through Marcus & Millichap. They don't have every place. I think the top 50 MSAs they have, but it's really great information. And the information that they will be providing you on the annual National Apartment House webinar is the same type of information that you want to know when you sit down and across the table from a potential investor and you start telling them why they should be investing with you. The information that they give you is absolutely fantastic. You'll look like an absolute genius. Absolutely. So what you want to do is come up here to the research tab. Here they've got the latest research, 2014 National Apartment Report. Investors flocking to secondary markets. That's something you want to know about. Q1, that's actually a National Hospitality Report. But what you want to do is come over here to more research. Select a type. Let me just pull this down. Atlanta, select a type right here. Multifamily. Search. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have checked the property location. Let's see what they give me. So here are Boston Research Report, Austin, Atlanta, Chicago, Cincinnati, all these different tabs. This is where you're going to find the particular research reports for that marketplace. Great information. Everybody comes here. Make sure you sign up, because then they're going to ask you if you want to get a reminder about their webinar, and the answer is always yes. Get a reminder. You want to find out what's going on in the marketplace so that you can be an expert in your new business. So that's what I really like about Marcus & Millichap. I think it's got some great stuff. Now, let me show you another type of website. This is called the Commercial Brokers Association. Now, it's got a rather generic, innocuous name, but the fact is about the CBA is, take a look at this, properties for sale. I'm going to click on that particular tab. And what comes up, we're going to do multifamily again. We're not going to set in the geographical area. But what comes up, as you can see, is all 150 properties in Washington State. All right? That's the thing about this CBA. It is a regional association for multifamily and other types of commercial property. So you've got to think to yourself, if I'm working in let's say, Dallas-Fort Worth, does there exist a similar website down there that's like an association of multifamily or commercial brokers or properties? If there is, I want to know about it and jump on the bandwagon. So that's the thing about this. You start off with the national retail brokers like Marcus & Millichap. Then you start coming down to the particular marketplace like the state of Washington, find out who all those people use. And now what you do is then you come down even lower. This Ken Silvestri, good guy, Silvestri Craig Realtors. They are a great regional brokerage house in Lexington, Kentucky. They fly below the radar screen. While, if a Marcus and Millichap listing comes up in Kentucky, it's probably coming out of the Cleveland, Ohio, or the Detroit, Michigan office for Marcus and Millichap. Yet Ken Silvestri and his team is right down there in Lexington, and he's got a handle on a whole bunch of other types of multifamily property. So when you are looking at the funnel for deals through brokers, you've got to think of the big national brokers at the top of the list. Then you come down to the regional associations, if one exists. They don't exist in every marketplace. And then you bring it down to the local brokers who they know the area better than anybody. And you want to become friends with those types of people as well. So that should give you an idea of the retail brokers. And even though I'm no big fan of the retail brokers, because you're probably never going to buy a property that they list on their website, they are great guys to know and women to know, because they get out there and they pound the pavement every day, and they know what properties are coming up. They know what properties may be for sale. They're definitely the type of person you want to befriend and keep on a short list. Okay, one of the another great site that you really need to find out about, and if you're just getting started in multifamily, or even if you've been in for a while, this may be a new site for you. But my point is that there are so many organizations out there that you just don't even know about that will be able to provide you with some great opportunities in the form of some market properties or off-market properties. One of them is the Society of Exchange Counselors, and the website, is, you can see from the handout, is secounselors.com. Now, this actually came to me when I was speaking out in Ohio. I said very, very nice things about anyone with a CCIM designation, which we will talk about in a moment. And one gentleman came up to me after the talk, and he said, "Hey, I'm a CCIM. I really like what you said about us. And did you know anything about the Society of Exchange Counselors?" And I had no idea. I'd never even heard of these people before. And I'm out there speaking in this world, so to speak. And he told me more about it, and I was fascinated by it. And the more and more I spoke to other groups, somebody would always come up and say, "Oh yeah, this is an amazing organization. You got to get involved with it." Let me show you how it works. First off, they do deals, and you, if you are not a member of if you are not an exchange counselor, you can't do their deals. You have to be brought in to the organization by a member. I likened it to the fact when my father one time bought a car at a car auction. He couldn't walk in and buy the car, but the gentleman who sponsored him, told everybody he was a driver, and he stood next to him and said, "Okay, buy me that car. Here's the price," and that's how it happened. Same is true for these Society of Exchange Counselors. So let me show you a couple of ways that you really need to work with these people. First up, if you come up here to property member search, we're going to do a property search for them. And let's keep it one. Well, I'm not, for this particular case, because the SEC Society of Exchange Counselors, not the Security and Exchange Commission, because they're not huge, it's not a big organization, let's not limit it to Tennessee like we have with all the other types, but let's definitely limit it to multifamily. But take a look at all the other opportunities that they have here. Cash and paper, development, business opportunity, a whole host of things. These guys put together deals like you can't imagine. So let's check on the multifamily, and we're going to do a quick search of all packages and search. All right, let's see how we did. All right, 7 packages, fine. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. Let's see, all, cap rate, all, multifamily. All right, well, let me tell you something. Since last time I looked at it, it's been cleaned up. Last time there were about 18 properties, so I guess they cleaned off some, and they're left with 7. Now, what you want to do when you come on this particular website, or have your virtual assistant do it, you're going to click on the detail button. And the thing is, what you want to do is click on the detail button for every single property. Even if the property doesn't look like it's something that you are interested in, what you have to read is the detail within each group, because sometimes there's a discussion of another property that they may have involved into this particular deal. So let's take a look at it. And folks, I'm doing this, in violation of all the training you have as an attorney. You never ask a question where you don't already know the answer. I do not know the answer to this as I click this button, but I'm going to click on this bank-owned apartment in Kansas City. It's 97% leased. It's $1 million valuation. And the reason why I'm clicking on this is because I have 2 clients in Kansas City who are buying property, and this might be a great deal for them. So, if you're a wholesaler or a bird dogger and you're not interested in Kansas City, if you've got somebody that is, this is how you find them deals. So you click on detail, and I can almost guarantee you that this particular property will not be on Loopnet. Maybe it is. I shouldn't guarantee that, but most of these are not on Loopnet. So we have a 48-unit, 5-story apartment complex in Midtown Kansas City. Includes adjacent 30-space parking lot. Property management is available for new owner. Okay. You just keep looking at the numbers, and you scroll down. Removal. Okay, so the benefits sought. So this is coming from a bank. The bank wants to get the REO off their books. They can add nothing, and the bank is not even interested in any form of seller financing. Oy vey, John. There's not much going on here. All right, let's see if we can find something that's a little bit more fun. Let's see here. Sunny Sedona, Arizona. What do we have here? Assume the existing 5% HUD loan with your cash and equity. Land to build an additional 22 plus units. Potential refi, 3.5%. Okay, so he's doing the dance here when he's giving you this all this information. The chances are not very strong that he's able to do these things, especially if it's an assumption. If it's an assumption, you own it. That's pretty much it. Okay, no, so take a look at this. Benefits sought: to split the partnership from deceased partner's heirs. Oh my gosh. Can you find anyone more motivated than deceased partner's heirs? Stop right there. We might be able to put something together. Now, what they can add is talent and $280,000 in reserve for the replacements. They already have $280,000 sitting in a bank account to fix this place up. That's pretty darn good. It's almost 10% of the valuation of the loan balance. All right, so these are the types of things that you see in the Society of Exchange Counselors website. You want to be looking at this website every single week. They update it. I'm telling you right now, they updated it since last time I've been on. But this is another great site you want to check out. Now, that is the first way that you want to use this site. The other way to use it is to come up here to click on the property member search, find a society member. Okay. Now, remember, I said that I just think if you have a CCIM designation after your name, that's one of the best designations. These people are true professionals. So when we click on the search, there are groups of 20. There are 6 pages. I have 120 SECs who have their SE counselors involved here. So what you're going to do is you are going to contact every single one of these the same way you did with the with the Loopnet and with the CIMLS. You are going to use the same elevator speech to get this done. All right. In addition to that, once you've gone through every one of these people, and if you click on member profile, I'll give you a little bit more information. There's Chester. Chester is a builder developer and a real estate problem solver. All right, that's the man we want. There is his email. There is his website. Now check this out. What I want you to do, take a look at this. I'm just going to grab on one of these guys, John at thebrennancompany.com. So watch what I do is I go up to my website, www. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's if you find. So if we take a look at John Brennan from Texas, John at thebrennancompany.com. So what you want to do is either click on his member profile, and there's John, and there is his website. Click on his website, and that takes you right to his website. So from here, you know, if the property that he is not showing on the SE Counselor website is the one you're interested in, you can come directly to his website and look at the property search. All right. So every one of these particular members, take a look at their email address: Concord Equity Group, Evergreen Invest, CreativeSolutionsInc.net. You want to do a search on these particular names to see what other properties they have available here. And you know, that's how you're going to use the Society of Exchange Counselors website. You're going to find the properties, the cool deals, and then you're also going to find the people that do these types of deals, because remember, this is a relationship business. So, all right, that's it with this particular link, and that should, you know, this should give you more information and activity than you can imagine. And now we're going to move on to the next section. Okay, one of the next sections that we're going to talk about is the special services. Special servicers are, you have to understand, and if you go onto the resource and archive section, there's a white paper that I wrote about new strategies in today's economy, or something to that extent. It's got a very, very long title. It has a lot to do with more with SEO than it does with anything else, but definitely go find that particular document. This will help you understand who special services are and how they operate. And what happens typically is a property owner will go out and get a mortgage from a Wall Street institution, and the type of mortgage is called a CMBS, a commercial mortgage-backed security. It looks and feels like a mortgage, but it's actually a security. And if you don't know the difference between those two things, we will be covering that on the private money section of the Masterclass Elite. So you want to sign up for that so you learn to understand how all of that ties together. But what happens is, if a property gets essentially foreclosed upon in a CMBS arrangement, it comes back to the special servicer. And the special servicer is then required to dispose of that particular asset for the general servicer or for the parent entity. So what you want to do is go track down all the special servicers that you know of and start to, you know, darken their door. And in this particular case, if we look down here, I'm going to show you, let's go to one of my favorite, LNR Properties. If I click on the web link for LNR Properties, what you'll see is, here we go, and I'm going to, just for a moment, pause this because it takes me a little bit of time to find exactly where I'm going, but I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so what you want to do is come over here to the Real Estate Servicing section, click on that, click on LNR, and then you're going to click on the region that you are looking to do business in. Because what we're trying to do is remain focused on Tennessee, we're going to choose the Southeast region. And as you can see here, they're showing you all the properties, 21 properties that LNR is currently handling. I'm going to records, I'm going to go to 50 pages. That will show everything on here. Then I'm going to do a sort by the type, so that I only look at multifamily. Here we go. Park Villa Apartments, C-Class, C class, A class, B class, A class. Let's take a look at Ashley Oaks in Greensboro, North Carolina. All right, so here's the information. Now, the thing you want to understand about dealing with special servicers is they take property in and then they have to dispose of it. And typically they use brokers to do it. And sometimes they will try to use auction.com, which is a site that we will be talking about in this video a little bit down the road. But here you have a broker, Mike Fowler, and he is showing this particular Greensboro, North Carolina property on behalf of L&R Properties. But what I want you to do here, folks, there are three things that this particular website will give you. First off, it will give you a guy's name. His name is Mike Fowler. He is the guy you want to talk to because he does commercial deals. Put him on your list. He should be a guy that you speak to on a regular basis. Second thing is that you've now got this property, Ashley Oaks. It is a 252 unit, 1997 year property. If this meets your criteria, you want to contact Mike Fowler and say, okay, Mike, what do I have to do to make this deal happen? That's all you got to say. Mike, what do I have to do to make this deal happen? And then sit back and shut up. And then wait to see what he comes back with. And then the third thing that I want to show you here is he's got a website. You click on the website and you see what happens. Brown Investment Properties, apartments, location, find apartments. Okay, boom. Maybe it's brokerage. Anyway, let's go with find apartments. There we go. Brown Investment Group. Okay, so here are some properties. Oh, these are units that he's renting. I don't care about that. Brokerage. Let's see. Brokerage team inquiry. Search BIP. Let's search BIP. Brown Investment Properties. What does he have? We're going to look for sale, multifamily, search. Do you see what's going on here, folks? I've given you some sources, and when you start to pull the string out of those sources, it starts to unravel everything. And so now here we've got five more properties, five properties, all different types. And this is what you're looking for. This is how you want to be able to find deals. But remember, the guy that you want to talk to is that Brown guy, the guy that we had. And this will show you who are all the people that, hey, look at another Chester Brown. Seems to be a very common name among multifamily brokers. So these are the people you want to talk to. Start contacting them. Find out what they have to offer. These leasing, property management, property manager. Yeah, these are the people you want to definitely get in touch with. Here's the brokerage team down here. Look at these guys. Chester Brown, Mike Fowler, Rich Baker, Bill Strickland, Jim Davis, Vince Howard. These are the people you want to pick up the phone and get to know. And that's how you're going to find these. And it all came from these special servicers. Because remember, folks, all I did was I essentially just clicked on this one particular region and came up with all those other properties. Like I said, you pull the string here, everything unravels all the way down. So what you want to do is really start to go after this type of stuff and find these particular types of deals. It's a great, amazing opportunity. Now I'm going to show you one other place where you can find these types of deals. Okay, so if you go to the Mortgage Bankers Association website and do a search on commercial year-end survey of commercial multifamily mortgage servicing volumes, this will give you a list of the top special servicers in the country. And from here you can start to delve more into what types of assets they have. Every single one of these particular companies is a special servicer, and they have properties that they have to dispose of. All right, so you need to put these people on the list, set it up with your virtual assistant so that they can contact these people and find out exactly what they've got going on. I think in this particular case there's no hyperlink to it, but let's take a look just for fun about Berkadia. All right, hold on one second. I will pull it up for you. Okay, so if we just check out Berkadia.com, look at this. Right at the top, they have a section called Search Listings. Let's see what they've got for listings. Now remember, folks, this is not your typical Loopnet type of discovery. Here you've got one particular special servicer that keeps properties on their list. So let's take a look at this particular site. Let's see what we've got. Okay, metro area. I am more interested in the type of property. Let's look at REO property. See what they've got. 2 properties, Birmingham, Alabama, and Grand Prairie, Texas. It's in escrow right now. It's 128 units. Geez, that could have been a very interesting site. But like I said, when you pull the thread, you can find so many other things out there, and you can see that this particular broker is a member of a yeah, there it is right there, Hendricks Berkadia, Hendricks Partners. So, now we can go to more properties with Hendricks Berkadia. Yeah, this one might have been an interesting one. Probably a flat roof. My guess is 1978 construction, Vista Verde. But that should give you, built in 62. Ouch. I was built in 64, and I'm having trouble right about now. So those are the types of things you want to keep in mind. Look at this. It's a in-window air conditioning unit. Never a good sign, especially if you're paying the utilities. These are the types of things that we're going to talk about when we teach you how to go through a property package. And not in this particular video, but I just wanted to give you a little inkling as to when you become an expert in this business, those are the types of things you look at. When you look at a picture like this, you see this unit, air conditioning unit, and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, 100 degree temperatures in Grand Prairie, Texas. That thing is running 100% of the time, and I'm not making a dime because I'm paying the utilities. These are the types of things you want to think about. So I hope that gives you an idea that you've got so many opportunities. I just gave you even more than you could cut your teeth on over the next 30 days. What you need to do is, while you're going through this process, write down everything step by step so that you can go to a virtual assistant and have them do all the searches for you. That's what you want to do. So, all right, let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, the next site that I want you to check out, and this is one where you're going to really need to build up relationships, because it's not going to lay it right out there in the form of properties. You've got to build up the relationships first, and then the properties will come second. And the properties that do come second sometimes can be absolutely amazing. I'm working myself right now in a 45-unit gutted rehab that is a perfect Section 8 or HAP or HUD property, and the bank is willing to provide us with all of the construction money we need and essentially give us the keys to get the deal done, because they want it off their books as fast as possible. But you only get to that point if you've built up your business so that you can take on something like that. And the only way to do that is to start building these relationships with these types of banks. So what I want you to do is go check out BauerFinancial.com, B-A-U-E-R, for those of you that play hockey. It's like the skate, the old Bauer skate. And Bauer Financial ranks all of the banks. And you're going to look for those banks that are not doing all that well. So what you're going to do is click on the bank star ratings and click right there. And like we said, we're going to check out Tennessee. Click on Tennessee and do a search. Now, this is something that you can really have a VA do for you, because there's a lot of dialing for dollars, so to speak, to get this deal done. What you're going to be looking at are the star ratings. You're going to look for banks with 1 to 2 stars. Those are the banks with the problem assets, the trouble assets. Many times these banks don't even know how bad they have it. So what you're going to do is you're going to remain in contact with these banks. We actually were working with one particular lender, and when we first started working with them, they told us, like, they sent over their list of troubled assets, and we wanted to buy the notes at a discount, and they would hear nothing of it. They would say, no, we're not going to discount it even to 95 cents in the dollar. Why would we do that? And what they didn't know is that we knew that this bank was in trouble, that the FDIC could step in at any time and say, get rid of these assets. And so we made offers anyway. And we wanted to go on record with the lender as being the guys who can make offers and close very quickly. So when the time came for, the FDIC came in and said, you got to clean up your bank in 90 days, they go back to their drawers and find the offer that I made and say, hey, you still interested in that property? And the only reason why they do that is because I made the offer. Nobody else. So you scroll down here in the list and you find, like, check out this Bank of Bartlett. And once again, these are just strictly Tennessee banks. And Tennessee banks seem to be doing well. Brighton Bank is a 2-star. Look at that one. Central Bank of Savannah. They're a 1-star. They're in trouble. So what you want to do is contact these banks and speak to the person that handles the troubled assets. Okay, that's who you want to speak to. Who's the person at the bank that handles the troubled assets? If you say foreclosed property or Oreo, you sound like you just got out of a boot camp. But use the term troubled assets. Those are here, look at this, bank-owned property. Central Bank, what do they got? Bank-owned. Some land. There's a house. Commercial building. Yeah, that looks real commercial. Yep, so you can see there's a whole, obviously this is a bank that does a lot of single-family stuff. And so what you want to do is oh, look at that one. That's kind of a nice house. $275,000. I'd offer him $150,000. Oh, look at that. Oh, I could own that for $150,000. So you can see this. I mean, these are sources of properties that you don't even know are out there. I'm scrolling through the list, and I'm just so hoping that a multifamily property pops up. I'm not expecting it. So there you have it. Oh, that's a nice property. That's a nice little log cabin. Savannah, Tennessee, $270,000. Pretty nice. Okay, but that's what I'm talking about, folks. You start digging down into these types of lenders, and so what you're going to do is, if you're looking in the Atlanta, Georgia area, you're going to go to Back to Borrow Financial and click on the banks in Atlanta, Georgia, and then you're going to go in there and see if they have this type of a tab that says bank-owned property, and then you're going to go after and find those particular types of deals. So that's how we use Borrow Financial to go out there and find lender sites. Remember, I told you that this particular lesson is teaching you things over a 30-day period. I am giving you so much information that it might take you a lot longer than 30 days to be able to figure this stuff out. But man, this stuff that I'm giving you is absolute gold. You can find deals, set up the systems so that the next time that Central Bank adds a new bank-owned property to their list, you will know about it and you'll be able to move very quickly. So, all right, next lesson. All right, the next places that we're going to look all kind of follow the same theme, and the same theme happens to be that they are government websites. If you haven't figured it out yet, if you did not know it, the U.S. government is one of the biggest dealers in multifamily property, and they buy, sell, and trade multifamily deals. So you need to know where to look for these types of deals. They're all over the place. You need to be able to get on the internet. All the information is provided free of charge, which is what we like. But what you want to do is just get on the system, get on the grid, so to speak, and get this information sent to you on a regular basis. So here's the first one, the U.S. Department of Agriculture. What? Yes, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, believe it or not, they trade in multifamily property. So how does that happen? How would you even think to look here for apartments? Well, because you're working with me. So let me do a quick little show you how to handle this, how to deal with this quick and easily. Right up here in the search bar, I'm going to type in multifamily. And we have, which comes up, U.S. Rural Development. That's the one that you want to be looking at. Otherwise known affectionately as RD. All right, so here's the U.S. Department of Agriculture Rural Development website. What you want to look at over here is find RD properties for sale. All right, now I happen to be familiar with this program because my family owns a 72-unit RD property up in Michigan. So as you can see here, you come over to the right, search property, multifamily housing, click on here. And as you can see, this website works a lot better than Obamacare. You're going to select a state. Now check this out. And this is, what happens here is whenever they have property for sale, you come over here to this box, select a state, drop down, and the states that have properties up for sale will appear there. You need to come back every single week because I'm telling you folks, just a week ago, there were 4 states that had properties for sale. And as you can see here now, when I use the drop down box to show you some property, nothing comes up. So right now, for this particular week, USDA does not have any multifamily properties for sale. But here's the inside scoop to this, and this is something that you won't find other places. What you want to be looking for is, let me see, right here, find a local RD office. Here's how it works. Not all properties that they have for sale appear on this website. What you need to do is get familiar with the person in the local RD office that handles this particular aspect of the business. And they are the ones that know what is coming up for auction, coming up for sale, that are in distress, that you may be able to come in and buy. So don't always believe this website. What you want to do is come over here to find a local RD office, click on that. Let's say Michigan, because not all states and not all counties have an RD office. I'm just going to go to Lapeer County, and as you can see here, this is who you want to speak to, the Caro Service Center, Adrian Wagner. You want to touch base with this person. Once again, just shoot them an email saying, do you have any properties for sale? Have your VA do all of these things for you, and that's another way that you can get on the grid to start to find multifamily deals throughout the country that nobody else is looking for. So that is how the Rural Development Office works. For all, to give you an example of what RD is, I like to call it Section 8 for farmers. It was a program back in the late 70s, early 80s, where the government would give developers huge tax credits to come in and develop apartment complexes in areas that were underutilized, underserved, but were in an agricultural area in order to provide housing for workers on the farms. And that is how the RD business got started. So put this on your list of things to do, and we'll see you on the next lesson. Okay, now the next website that I want you to get familiar with is the Housing and Urban Development website, HUD.gov. Now this one, obviously you must have thought that I was going to take you to government sites would end up here, and you're absolutely right, because there is so much available information, all free, right here on this website that you can tap into and really start finding properties, finding owners, finding very important information about deals. I keep saying deals, talking about properties that you can contact and start your marketing campaign going after. Let me show you how this works. And I am really, folks, I'm telling you, I am just going to scratch the surface on this particular website. You could spend an entire day digging down deep into all the information that's provided on this website for free. And you can be able to find some great stuff. So let me take you through it. A lot of this is going to be kind of stream of consciousness. There are a couple of sites I'm going to take you to directly, but then again, there are others that, while we're looking at it, might seem interesting, and we're just going to jump on over there and take a look. So when you come here, like with the USDA site, you can type in multifamily up here, but I want to show you the topic areas. What you're going to do is come over here to program offices, go over to housing, click on housing, then you're going to come over here to multifamily, and just scroll on down to, we'll start off with the multifamily data. Within here are some really great lists and all the information about deals that they've done that you can use in order to create mailing lists to find out who's got a property in a particular marketplace that fits your criteria. Let me give you an example. So down here you've got these mortgages currently insured by HUD. You've got mortgages that have been terminated by HUD, not terminated meaning foreclosed, but that they are just no longer active with HUD, but they still have all the information, which is still what you're looking for. Then you've got down here under the multifamily portfolio data sets. This is great stuff. Let me just click on this and show you the type of information that comes up when you dig down a little deeper. Okay, so from here you can download these Excel documents for a contract renewal of all contracts, with rental and utility allowances. Now the thing about this, you might be thinking, well, what do I want that information for? This is just lists and lists on an Excel database of owners, and how many units, and how big the mortgage was, and when's it coming due, and what was the interest rate, and who to contact to speak to that person. Great stuff. When it comes in an Excel format, you can easily manipulate it and sort it and put it in any format that you want, and bang out some direct mail pieces to the owners. So this is good stuff, and it's all right here at your fingertips. Now let me just show you a couple of other things here with this site. I'm just going to type in multifamily. Let's do a search. Check out this, the HUD multifamily housing list of properties for sale. Now, as you can see here, it's a weekly listing. All right, so what you want to do is get on their list. You can set yourself up on the electronic mailing list so that you get a copy of whatever's out there for sale every single week. Now, check out this one. They have a 15-unit property in Louisiana. All right, and you contact the realty specialist, Bridget Banks. Well, folks, I'd contact Bridget even if I didn't want a property in Louisiana. She's a realty specialist within the HUD office, and you want to get to know her, find out what else is going on out there in the marketplace, find out where other properties are that she put out for market. Now look at all these, list of sold properties, list of sold multifamily foreclosure and HUD-owned projects. Why is that important for us? Well, maybe some investor bought it at a premium or like a huge discount, and now he's trying to sell it, and you want to contact them and find out what they have. I mean, you got to think like you're going after that diamond in the rough, and you're going to uncover every possible scenario in order to find that. Now, so. Yeah, so this is great stuff. You can sit here on this particular website all day long and find some amazing stuff. Now, there's one other thing I'm going to try to show you. I'm just going to try to do it. Okay, let me just give you some more. Give you more examples. Here's a list of sold multifamily foreclosure and HUD properties. You just click on it, and look at the information that pops up. How many units? Where was it sold? Who closed on it? What was the price? Here's a purchaser. These are the guys that own the property. And look at this. It just goes on and on and on, sorted by state. This is the type of stuff that you really want to check out. This guy. He's in Agawam, Mass. Alcott Realty Group, 91 units, 1.5 million in Porterville, California. Wow. That guy got a steal. But that's what you do. You just start digging down. All this information is right there at your fingertips. Let me give you another example of a website from HUD.gov. This is on the handout, but I'm going to show you. It's right here. HUD multifamily property sales. This one is once again, it's actually kind of very similar to the one we just looked at. But you can just jump on it, and let's say you're looking in Tennessee. I'm going to click on Tennessee, and here are all the properties that have been sold through HUD in Tennessee. It just goes on and on and on. It tells you how many units there were, what the sales amount was, when it was bought and sold, and who bought it. That information is gold. This is the way you'll be able to speak directly with the owner, the decision maker, and speak to them and say, hey, can I buy your property? No broker involved. You're speaking right to the right person. This is how deals get done, folks. And all the information is right here at your fingertips. Thank you, HUD. Did you ever think the government would be so helpful with their information? So, yeah, well, it is a transparent administration. No, I just didn't do that, did I? Hopefully that'll get deleted and hit the editing room floor, but I doubt it. So that is the this. I'm scratching the surface here on HUD. You want to play with this. You want to go around. You want to figure out, how do I get in here? How do I find other deals? Remember, we come up here to the multifamily site. Go through every one of these programs. Also, Section 8. Section 8 is huge. You can find out who owns Section 8 properties. Section 8 HAP contracts. They're all right here in HUD. All the information is right there at your fingertips. Go crazy. This should last you. Set yourself up. Create the system in your new business that goes after this information on a systematic basis and pass it off to someone else. You want these things coming to you as quickly as possible, where you're not working that hard to get it. Somebody else is working hard for you. So that is the HUD website, and that's how HUD works. Let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, now the next section has to do with Section 8. Now, some people may be, philosophically opposed to Section 8. Listen, it's really a good program. I work well with our Section 8 offices in the areas that I own my properties. You just have to know how to manage Section 8. And it's a great partner, and it's a great partner for many different reasons. And I even teach in my classes that if you find a property that's for sale that is a C class, a standard, looks like a second type property, if you're looking at that type of property and they do not take any Section 8, that is a red flag for you that there's a real problem with that property. So take that into consideration when you're looking at deals. So the other thing, what we're going to do here is I'm going to take you through a couple of different sites so that you can find more properties in the marketplaces that you're looking for. What you want to do is come to the HUD.gov site again, come up here on State Info, and just click on State Info. Then you choose your state. Let's say New Hampshire, because I know New Hampshire. I know the counties, so we'll take a look at New Hampshire. All right, so what you want to do is every state has a very similar website through HUD, but there's certain different features to it, so they're not all identical. You're going to need to get comfortable with the state and the region that you're going to be doing your multifamily searches in. So here in New Hampshire, they've got this thing down here called Subsidized Apartment Search. That's Section 8. Okay, so what we're going to do here is select a county, Hillsborough, and 2 bedrooms, all apartment types, and we hit enter. And there it is. Look at all of these properties, and it tells you what the properties are, where it's located, who the contact information is, with their email address, and right away you know, hey, this is great. CP Management Company. The woman's name is Mary, and you can contact her. She's got a property called Amoskeag Millyard. You can pick up the phone, call Mary. Hey, is your property for sale? Are you managing any other properties that might be for sale? And just start building up your relationship base with these types of people who are in the business. But here are all the property: Courtyard Apartment, Cedar House, and this is just one county in New Hampshire. And you can do this through all the different states through HUD.gov. And that is the easiest way to start finding Section 8 like properties. You're going to find a lot of owners who are ready to get out. They're done. They want to move on, and you want to be able to speak to them directly. No broker involved. Off-market listings, pocket listings. This is how you're going to find the deals. You're not going to find them on Loopnet. You're not going to find them through the retail broker sites. You're going to find them by doing the old, shoe leather searches. And getting out there and finding the deals. It's a marketing business, and I'm proving it to you this way. So that's the end of this lesson. Let's move on to the next one. All right, if you've been to any of my sessions, you've heard me speak about CCIM, Certified Commercial Investment Manager Institute. When you see someone in this business who has the CCIM designation after their name, you're dealing with a very high-level, well-respected designation in the marketplace, in the multifamily marketplace. So I've always had good experiences when I've worked with someone that's a CCIM, that's just a higher caliber, higher quality professional. So you can also work with them directly, because the thing about CCIMs is they do a lot of deals that nobody even knows about. I mean, everything done by word of mouth. In their CCIM meetings, you definitely want to start to work and move in the circles of these types of people. So what you're going to do here, just to keep it nice and easy, is you're going to come up here to the website, click on the networking, find a CCM. You can also check on the CCM chapters in your area. I highly recommend that if you're going to be in this business, you should get to know these people. Go to the local chapters and hang out there. But here, find a CCIM. And here we go. We're going to look for one in the multifamily type, professional specialization. Now, this is interesting. I just want you to understand this. A CCIM can be many different professions. They can be agents, brokers, appraisers, consultants, commercial real estate executives, developers, investment, landlord reps, lender bankers, property managers, and tenant reps. So, not all of them are going to be great sources for you for finding deals. But nevertheless, they're great people to know. So let's take a look at Tennessee. If we're looking at Tennessee, for multifamily CCIM, what have we got? And here you have it. We have 2 pages of experts. So here's Gloria. She's a CCIM. Now, the thing that I really want to stress for you here, once again, just like in what we were doing with Loopnet, you can click over here and send them an email, quick and easy. You just jot them down a little note, and that will get you on their radar screen. But take a look at this too. And this is another thing I want you to do, is look at these personal websites. Whenever you see somebody with a personal website, definitely go check it out. Remember how I told you back early on about the retail brokers and the funnel of the retail brokers, starting with the national brands, working your way down to the local, regional brokers who specialize in multifamily. You want to get to know those people as well. When you start looking at these types of sites, you're going to find some brokers that fit that mold. This is going to be the easiest way for you to find local specialized brokers that fit that mold. I was actually surprised. Someone came up to me here in Massachusetts and said, "Hey, here's a great deal you should take a look at," and it happened to be from the president of the CCIM chapter here in Massachusetts. And you wouldn't find this guy anywhere. He's not on Loopnet, but he's out there doing deals. And this is how you want to find some of these guys, is come to sources like the CCIM. Let's take a look at this particular feature that you need to understand. So, if we look at Solange Velis, she works for Goldman Partners Realty. So we click on Goldman Partners Realty, and it comes up to their website here. Check this out. Current listings. Here's some apartments that that Ms. Solange has available. All right. She's got this property that's built on the side of a hill. Looks like it's going to slide off in Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay. Now let's just think about this for a second. Here's a property that she has, 409 through 415 Sharp Lane. All right. That's the information that we have about this particular deal. If I go over to Loopnet, and I do a search in Knoxville, Tennessee, using the keyword sharp, let's see if she has this property listed up there on Loopnet. And here are the results. When I do that, I get a 1 Knoxville, Tennessee property, 31 units. It does not look like it's the same feature. It's a different broker altogether. So, as you can see, Ms. Solange doesn't even have these properties listed on Loopnet. So if you are looking for deals in Knoxville, Tennessee on the Loopnet listing, you would never find this one. This is how you dig down deep, all right? So that's what you want to do for all of these people in all the different areas that you're looking for. Dig down deep into their personal websites. You want to get to know these people much better. These people are doing deals. They are legitimate. Don't burn through these people. These guys are professionals, and get to know these CCIM members, and you will be able to find some great deals. They'll help you out. They're just absolute class acts, and I say it's an absolute, it's universal, only because I've never met, it's like I've never met a Charlie I didn't like until I met one. It's the same thing here. I never met a CCIM I didn't like either. So that's it for this lesson. Let's move on to the next one. All right, now we're going to talk here about the use of property managers, and I'm not talking about it as far as running your properties. I'm talking about it more from a marketing standpoint. Obviously, property managers want your business as a multifamily investor. They want to manage your property. So there is a symbiotic relationship between the two. You want something, they want something. So how can the two of you work together to get what you want and everybody wins? Well, obviously, if they give you a lead of a deal that's property that's about to change hands, they'll probably want to keep the business or work with you in the future. So this is another source of people that you want to build up relationships with, because just like brokers, these folks have a finger on the pulse. They know exactly what's going on in the marketplace, and you want to be able to tap into that type of information. Property managers know who's the tired landlords, who's looking to sell. They want to keep the business, so they can help you out here. So you definitely want to start to work with different property managers in the marketplaces that you're looking at. Now, in this particular case, I'm showing you the National Association of Residential Property Managers. You can also use IREM.com or IREM.org. That's another place where you can find property managers. But everybody jumps on IREM. People go to these boot camps and everybody says IREM. Well, what about the residential property managers? These guys are in the same business. Let's use them. And what you can do is come down here for the search property managers. So understand what I'm doing here, folks. I'm trying to steer you away from where everybody else is looking. So here, let's do a search for property manager. And unfortunately, I do not know. Let's do Tennessee. See if we can just do a search on Tennessee, and if it gives me what I'm looking for. Search might tell me I need more parameters, but we'll see how it goes. All right, there you have it. There they all are in Tennessee. 62 members of the National Association here in Tennessee. Professional member. There's more information you can check. There's their phone number. There's their email. Very, very simple. You can just pick up the set this up so that your VA does all this work. Let's take a look at this gentleman's website. There it is. Owner, or are you an owner or an investor? What properties? Homes for rent, commercial properties. Now let's see. He's got this office space, $2,000 a month. So. But this is a guy, you just never know who you're going to get a hold of. And so you want to definitely speak to these people and find out what they're all about. And, there are 62 more leads for you, for people to help you find markets, help you find properties off market, no broker involved, that nobody else is looking for. So that's how you're going to do this business. All right. That's really it for the property manager side. It's another source. What are we up to now? 10 or 11? We're at lesson 11. You're being swamped right now. You probably had to stop this video several times to take it all down. You're going to keep coming back to this video, and it's going to keep giving you new places to look for deals. So definitely keep at it. Stay on there. We still have. We're about to approach lesson 12. I got 15 lessons here, folks. I got more to go. So, and some of them, one of the biggest ones I haven't even hit yet. I hope I'm overwhelming you. That is my objective. I want you to see that you just don't look in the usual places. You look in all the places. So, this is the end of lesson 11. Let's start up with lesson 12. Okay, now, this next website, auction.com, is one that is going to lead you to a lot of other sources, and that's kind of why we're using it. Auction.com has really come through a lot of iterations. Back in 2007, 2008, when the market crashed, Auction.com was the only place to go. They had so many auctions going on a regular basis. And now things are starting to slow down as the problems are being resolved. You know, the need for auctioning off your properties this way is not as strong. But nevertheless, it's still a viable alternative. So let's take a look, and I'm going to walk you through, you know, how this operates. So let's say we're going to buy. All right, we're going to buy multifamily. And here they've got 23 properties for sale. Okay, and that's it. I mean, I'm just going to click on this so it cleans it up. Very light to, you know. That's it. That's all I've got right now for properties. All different locations: Columbus, Ohio, Conroe, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. Now, let me kind of give you an idea of how this works. And first off, you know, if you want to understand how to make a bid on Auction.com, you can come up here to the how-to guides, and it'll walk you through how to do this exactly. There's definitely a process involved to making offers on Auction.com. You may not even want to go through all of it, but okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. There are other ways that we can you know, contact the people. So let's take a look, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's check on this 8037 West Elizabeth Lane in Fort Worth, Texas first. You know, everybody's all excited about Texas. Fort Worth, you know, is a pretty good area. Dallas-Fort Worth area. Okay, so here's what we have. A starting bid of $400,000. You got to put $10,000 down just to even make a bid. Name of the property is Veranda Apartments, 48 units, built in 83, 3 buildings. It's currently 92% occupied. So it's probably cash flowing. There's the NOI right there. You can back into what number works for you if you know the cap rate in that particular marketplace in Fort Worth. So that's what you've got. Now, what you want to look over here is John Nesbitt. He is Rockwood Real Estate Advisor. Okay, so he is the person that you want to contact about the property. Like we did with the others, let's take a look at this email address that he uses, okay? Copy it, and then I'm going to use it to access his website. And I click on over, and there is Rockwood Real Estate Advisors. So let's see if he has any properties, clients. No, actually, he's just acting as an advisor. So he's not even acting as a broker. Interesting. So this is what he does, and I'm not finding any properties on his website. So he's just strictly acting as an advisor to help get, but he is a licensed real estate agent in Texas. So that gives you a little bit of information. You can find out. I just found out, you know, John Nesbitt. I want to talk to him and find out what he's got going on. See if he's got any other deals. See if he can tell us a little bit more about this particular property. So that is how you use Auction.com. Used to be a huge resource for finding deals and finding brokers and finding people doing deals in the business. Right now, it is, and as you can see, we're down to 23 properties. But definitely put it on your search list. This is someplace you want to go on a regular basis because they update these properties all the time. So that's it for lesson 12. Let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, this next one has to do with a special type of property that you'll come up against every once in a while. It's called low-income housing tax credits. LIHTC is an acronym that we use. Just understand basically how it works is really back in the early 90s. This is when they really started to happen. The government was giving out these tax credits to developers for developing low-income properties. And it was very lucrative. It was a great deal. And what happened was that, you know, at the closing table, the developer would sit down and it'd say, okay, you know, I'm going to get all these tax credits that I can turn around and sell, you know, from the government that, you know, once I enter into this agreement. And the government said, you know, that's right, and this is a 15-year agreement. And the developer said, yep, where do I sign? And the government said, not so fast. Would you like to take what's behind door number 2? And door number 2 was
if you make the decision right here, right now, to double your term from 15 to 30 years, we will give you all of these additional tax credits at no additional cost. And, you know, the developer's plan was to get out of it anyway, so he didn't care what was going to happen 30 years down the road. And here he's got all this extra money staring him in the face. What would you do? You take it. So most of these low-income housing tax credit plans are on a 30-year cycle in two 15-year increments. So the thing you need to be aware of is the talk is when you speak to a broker about this, or when you're looking at a low-income housing tax credit, you always want to know, when does it come out of the program? Because what's happening is the low-income housing tax credit properties are beautiful. Government forces the developer, the owner, to plow a lot of CapEx money back into the property, and they're just gorgeous. And the rent is well below market. So when these things come out of the program, I believe it's a 3-year window. You have 3 years that you can start to move that property out of that subsidized tax basis all the way up to the market rents. So you buy it at the reduced market, and then over the course of 3 years, you bring that thing up to a market level property, and you just made a killing. But the question you have to ask is, when is this property coming out of the program? And here's the rub. Don't believe anything anyone tells you. Look for the information in writing. I found this out where I was wasting so much time on this great property. My client and I were looking at it. It was a beautiful property. It was coming out of the program according to the broker, and it was a Marcus and Millichap broker. So I realized, I don't really know all that much about LIHTC properties. I should call the State Housing Authority and find out exactly how it works. So that's what I did. I ended up speaking to the guy who was in charge of the LIHTC programs for the whole state of Ohio. He's an attorney. And he and I chatted for a while, and he said, well, what's the name of the property that you're looking at? And I said, well, don't know if I'm at liberty to disclose. He goes, no, that's all right. Go ahead and let me know. So I told him, and he goes, oh, no, that's not coming out of the program. I said, well, the broker's telling me it is. Are you sure? He said, oh, no, I know all the properties that are coming up and out of the program. That's not one of them. That one's got another 15 years to go. So I made an offer on the property. My offer was contingent upon the property coming out of the program in the next year. Never heard back from the Marcus and Millichap broker. All right? Don't believe anything anyone tells you. Find out for yourself. So here, what this particular website does, this is a HUD user. It's LIHTC, lihtc.huduser.org. And from here, you can do searches on all different properties, where all the LIHTC properties are in a particular marketplace. And as we're doing for this particular lesson, we're going to be searching in Tennessee. Here are all the different parameters. I'm not going to go through it all right now, but this is another way for you to be able to find properties and all the information about those properties, like who owns them, right here at your fingertips. And LIHTC properties, if they're coming out of the program, are phenomenal. I mean, there are some investors that all they do is specialize in taking these types of properties to market when they go. So hopefully that helped, and let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, this one is a very unique site and source, and but I want you to understand what happened. You see, when you get in this business and you're sitting on the computer and you're looking for deals all day long, you come across some things you never even thought existed. And this particularly happened to me, and I want you to use this type of information to be able to apply it to your search in the areas that you're looking for. So I happened to come across this website called South Dakota Housing Development Authority, and somehow I found out that they sell properties. Just trying to, this is actually in the handout. You can see the nice, pretty website that's in there. But if you just click on the site here now, right now, there's something going on with their website. It's typically not set up this way. It's typically set up in a much nicer format, but for now, this is going to be fine. So the South Dakota Housing Development Authority has properties for sale. And as you can see here, they've got four properties. Let's take a look at the first one on Ashbury. And we click on Ashbury, and what pops up but a nice 48-unit apartment building in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. and it's currently owned by the authority, and they're looking to sell it, probably raise some money to go out and build more properties. I'm telling you, folks, I've watched clients of mine buy these types of assets, and when they buy them out of the authorities, typically the authority will plow a lot of CapEx money into these deals to keep them nice and clean. So when you take them over, they're in great shape. So this is a great place for you to be looking for deals. But let me just give you another example. This is a Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Ashbury Apartments. If we go over here to Loopnet, I put in a search for Sioux Falls, South Dakota using the keyword Ashbury. And look what came up. Your search did not match any properties. In other words, the Housing Authority does not post these deals on Loopnet. You got to go dig down deep to find them. So, does this mean you should need to be looking in South Dakota Housing Authority? No, you need to be looking in the Housing Authority for the markets that you're looking at and find out how they dispose of their assets. Do they have a website that has a listing on there? Dig down deep. Call that Housing Authority. They are selling their properties all the time. I'm telling you, I've worked on many of them. So definitely pick up the phone, call these people, do searches, make sure you have uncovered every rock, turned over every rock to find these types of deals. But this is another place that you need to look. Regional housing authorities sell properties. And I guess you can consider it off market because they don't list it through a broker. You got to come to them. All right, that's the end of this lesson. And we're coming down in for a landing, folks. Okay, if you've stuck with me this long, thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful. We are coming in for the landing. We're in lesson 15 of 15 lessons. I've given you so much information. And believe it or not, I really think that I have held off and saved one of the best sources for last. And that is LinkedIn. And I'm going to give you a quick little primer on LinkedIn, and then I'm going to show you how I use it and how you need to be using it on a daily basis. And then get off and running, folks. You get 30 days until your next lesson, and I hope you'll be getting deals in the door off market during that time. So here's LinkedIn. First thing I want to tell you, if you don't understand LinkedIn, if you don't understand social marketing, the best place to go, oh, look at that, Lance Cummins, president of Nectify. He's the guy that did all my websites. Okay, the place that you want to go is right up here to marketing, to a website called HubSpot.com. HUB as in boy, spot. HubSpot.com. And then when you get to HubSpot, you want to click on the marketing library, and then you can just scroll through all of these downloads of every particular aspect of social media marketing that you can get your hands on. If you don't understand how to use Twitter, if you don't know how to do Facebook posts, all of those types of things, it's all right here at your fingertips. Phenomenal downloads, everything you need to know. So what you want to do in this case is find the one on LinkedIn. There's actually a great one that teaches you how to set up your profile on LinkedIn. And I can tell you, folks, I had my profile on LinkedIn was at 50% for like 2 years. And I never completed it. And then I found a download here on this particular library, and it said how to complete your LinkedIn profile. And within an hour, I was totally up and running, had everything exactly the way it was supposed to be. So that's how you want to do this, get set up correctly in LinkedIn. You definitely want to have a full profile on LinkedIn if you don't already. So now, once you get on LinkedIn, the thing that you want to do, besides reaching out and finding people just like you who are looking to do deals, the thing that you want to be looking for is groups. You want to join groups that meet your criteria. Now let me give you a little heads up. Now you remember I told you early on, don't believe anything you hear or read. Verify everything. The one thing I've found about LinkedIn is that there are an awful lot of posers on the site. People who are putting themselves out there who've never really done much. Now that you might think that I'm talking about you, but just don't get out there and get involved in a daisy chain and start trying to move someone else's product that's removed 7 times from the owner. Just get out there and be real, and find the people that are doing deals, get to know them, and then just get yourself into this business. So, having said that, what you're going to do is come up here to interests, groups. Now, from groups, you're going to type in a search. Just to give you an example here, in this particular LinkedIn group, I have 43 groups that I'm a member of. I have another LinkedIn email account that has another 50 groups. You can sign up for 50 groups, and then within each group they have subgroups, and you can join those subgroups as well. But they limit the main groups to 50 groups. So what you're going to do is come up here and just say, multifamily investing. All right, and you're going to click on here, and you're going to search on groups. And look at here, they have 14 groups. Look at the first one, Multifamily Investing Academy. I highly recommend you join that one. Multifamily Apartment Investing. There are 86 members, 29, almost 3,000 members in my group. And so you join all of these groups. Let's take another one. Let's joint venture real estate. That work? Yes. What do we have here? 43 results. Joint venture real estate partners worldwide. Real estate joint venture matching group. Find a JV partner here. These are the types of places you need to be hanging out. Let's say, apartment investors seek. Oh, look at that! Apartment investors seeking deals. Let's search for groups like that. There it is. Are you an apartment investor looking for a deal? I think you are. Join that group. And then from within these groups, let's take a look at some of these groups that I'm a member of, and you can have an idea as to the types of things that you'll find. All right, so now let's take a look at 100 plus unit multifamily investors. Let's see what we have on here. Direct buyers wanted for 500 single-family residential rentals and 28 multifamily complexes off market. Randy Rutledge, you want to talk to him? I'm looking for an apartment complex in Florida. If you're wholesaling a deal, you think you want to talk to him? Package of 11 apartment buildings in the Atlanta area. You want to talk to him? Motivated seller of off-market Orlando hotel and apartment complex assets at less than 50% appraised value. You want to talk to him? As you can see, folks, there's so many potential leads on here, and you can use this for 2 different requirements. You can do it from a position of you're looking to buy these assets, or another one where you're looking to wholesale. If you find a deal you want to wholesale, LinkedIn is a great place to put that information up there. So make sure that you get your profile set up on LinkedIn, number one. The next thing is you want to join all the groups you possibly can that fit your criteria, what you're looking for in your business. That's number 2. And then monitor this information on a regular basis. Now you can get weekly or daily, weekly updates from every group on about new discussions, so you can see that on a regular basis. Here's what I recommend you do. If you get it on a daily basis, you will be so overwhelmed that if you sign up for 50 groups, you will be so overwhelmed it will be useless to you. What I recommend you do is you set aside one folder on your email so that any type of these discussions come right into that folder. And then Saturday morning, when you're sitting there with your cup of coffee and you're going through your emails and trying to find deals, that's when you read all of the updated discussion threads. It'll be a lot more organized, and it won't overwhelm you, and you will probably be able to generate some good quality activity from it. So that's why I think LinkedIn is one of the best sources out there for finding deals. And it's set up so well that you can remain totally organized, and you really get to meet a lot of people out there. I think I'm up to about 5,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I get some great stuff. I get people contact me all the time. I really do business using LinkedIn. It works out nicely. So, okay, hey, that's it. That's the end of all the lessons. I certainly hope this has been incredibly helpful for you. And if you're a Masterclass Elite member, make sure that you look for the email to sign up for the group coaching call. That should be in about 2 weeks. And then if you're a Masterclass member and you're not in the Elite membership, you're looking to upgrade, just shoot us an email and we will get you set up to be an Elite member, and you can join us on all the other bonuses to being an Elite member. So, great chatting with y'all, and I look forward to teaching you the next lesson next month. Have a great month. Work hard. Nothing good comes without hard work. Talk to you soon. All right, so there you have it. That's the end of lesson 1. I hope this was great for you. I hope you picked up a ton. I mean, I just totally overwhelmed you. I mean, so much information. I actually had to go through a wardrobe change myself from the beginning. Listen, this is meant to be fun. I want you to enjoy this business. It's really the best business to be in. Once you start to figure out and specialize and find out exactly what it is that you can do, then you know, hey, you will be a huge success in finding those deals. That's what this whole lesson was about. If you're a Masterclass Elite member, like I said in the video, make sure you sign up for the group coaching calls. If you're a Masterclass member and you're not getting the group coaching reminders, you can always upgrade. Just send us an email at info@multifamilyinvestingacademy.com, and then we will move you up to the Masterclass Elite program, and you'll get access to the Landlord Cash Flow Analyzer software, as well as the group coaching calls and the private money training session, which is a lot like these types of lessons as well. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next month.